yourself. Decide that I'm in charge of my destiny.
But do you ever hear people say they are eager to live a better life? If they really desire change, they wouldn't spend their evenings just watching TV and wishing they were doing something more.
You have to judge a tree by the fruit it bears, not the fruit that it talks about.
I'll be happy when I just what? You've got to be a dreamer. You've got to see the future finished in advance. Happiness doesn't come from big pieces of great success, but from small advantages hammered out day by day.
But everybody comes from themselves. They encourage everybody from themselves. Nobody's going to be able to save your friend. So we have to do what we have to do, no matter what it is. I want you to know I don't care how far fetched my fears lead to your family as a friend, or even to you. What you want for yourself is a discovery moment. What you will realize is that you're greater than your circumstances. Yes. But this is the moment. What you realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine. First, enjoy. Discovery moment. Not so much we can discover how bad it is, but rather how strong. You have to know it in yourself. And I can do this even if no one else sees it for me. I must see it for myself. Powerful people recognize potential and people of potential know power when they see it. And I want to share something with you that has changed my life. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Say that to yourself every day. Man doesn't keep pace with his companion, perhaps he's listening to the beat of a different drum. Let him dance to the music that he hears, however measured or floral. This is the moment. I got to bring it on. He said, imagine if you could be on your deathbed. Standing around your bed, the ghosts of the ideas, the dreams, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and then they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. Question is, if you died today, what I did? What dreams? What abilities? What talents? What gifts? God. bunch of interesting things that gets found in it. Our troubles are so different. Life is life. All of the just and unlimited. Our pains are quite simple. What I want you to do right now, I want you to think about some major goal you would like to achieve. Think about some major goal. How many of you would like to become diamond? Raise your hands. It's not what we get that makes us happy. How in our life are supposed to things. I'm here to stop selling. I'm here to stop selling the habits. Put it in front of you and say every time when you're days obviously bad. You might not be educated. You might not be jacked. You might not be that. This is the whole thing.
Hello, hello, good morning. Good morning, welcome to Plan Your Trade, Trade Your Plan with Great White for the 5th of April 2019. If you can hear me, please let me have your yes, so that we can start off. If you can hear me, let me have your yes, please. Hello, good morning. Good morning, you're welcome. If you can hear me, please let me have your yes. Okay, good morning, let me have your yes. Okay, let's start off. As always, first we start with this disclaimer. If you have any questions, it's well advised to go through it. If you have any questions, this is my Telegram handle, this is my Twitter handle. You could reach across to me on any of these handles with your questions, and I'll be happy to help you out with them. So that aside, today is going to be a lot of fireworks from 1:30 p.m. local time. As you can see, they're all coming out at the same time. We have card employment change, card unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, and non-farm employment change and unemployment rate. So these are the news coming out for today being Friday. So we need to be aware of this time, 1:30 p.m. local time. So that aside, we go over to our charts. So over to our charts, as always, we start with the dollar index. Okay. So looking at the dollar index from a daily point of view, as I said, this head and shoulder is still trying to play out. We already have an evening star formation playing out here. So we go down to our lower time frame chart, and if we look at our lower time frame chart, you can see this is our resistance area here. And like I said yesterday, what I said was that price would found support of this area and moved up into this area. I said that as long as price stays within 97.29 to 97.44, price may still drop. And as you can see, price is dropping. And if you notice, this is like a smaller head and shoulder pattern about to play out. Since price did not go above here, it may continue down. So as you can see, this is the left head and this is the right shoulder being formed now. So we might see a bit of dollar weakness this morning. I don't know if it will continue into the non-farm payroll release, but I will advise if you're already short on the dollar, just make sure you exit before the non-farm payroll comes out. So next we'll be looking at is gold. And if you look at gold, like I pointed out yesterday, this was a support area. Maybe I didn't shade it. I normally like to shade up my area so that when you look at it, you can immediately tell what is at that area. This was the support zone of yesterday, and as you can see, it held yesterday. And what did it result in? This long week. As you can see, price just ran into that area, and immediately it ran into that area, it turned out immediately. As you can see, so what are we expecting this morning now? We already have a reversal pattern on the 4 hour. This is a morning star. You see this candle, this long lower pin, and this bullish candle. This bullish candle is an engulfing. So this, we already have a morning star pattern. This pattern will hold as long as this low here holds. As long as we don't get the close below 128.81, 1281 on price, that's at this low. I think that low is 1280.98, then we may still see a move higher. But apart from that, your first level of support comes in at 1286.23. So as long as price stays above this 1286.23, there exists the potential that we may see price moving higher. We may see price moving higher. So just need to be aware of that. And the next we'll be looking at is the USDCHF. Looking at the USDCHF from the daily point of view, price is still at that resistance area. Price has neither broken above nor come out of it. So, knowing that, we drop down to our lower time frame chart. So as you can see, price just seems to have just staying in there for now. So, with this, what do we have? A move up, as long as price does not go above this 1.0111, there exists the potential that price may still come down a bit. Maybe come down to this 99.54 area or test this lower channel here. So that is it for the USDCHF. You just need to be aware of where price is. Now price is in a resistance zone. Taking a long position here will not be in your best interest. Next we'll be looking at is the EURUSD. Looking at the EURUSD, this reversal pattern is still standing. This morning star, although it has a long upper week, but yesterday price pulled back into the body of this previous bullish candle. And as you can see, created the doji. As at now, price is moving up because price did not close below 1.1217. So price is moving up for now. Go down to our lower time frame chart. You can see price found support in this area. We already have a rising trend line. So our first level of resistance comes in at this falling trend line on the 4 hour and between 1.1245 to 1.1261. A move above this resistance block here will see price. So what you will be expecting is if price breaks this level, wait for a retest and a move higher. So that's the game plan here. Because like I said, the dollar index might experience a bit of weakness given the inverse, given the head and shoulders pattern. And like I said within the week, the EURUSD is also playing its, sorry, let me get rid of this. The EURUSD is also playing his 4 hours inverse head and shoulders pattern. As you can see, the right shoulder is being completed now. So when price gets to the neckline, which is around here, let me see if I can draw in this pattern. Let me see if I can draw in this pattern here. No. I don't think I got it. No. Let me get rid of it. Let me get rid of it. I think I didn't get it well. Let me draw it. Well, I start from, I think, somewhere here. Yes. I think somewhere here. Down to this point. 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 This is what we might be looking at. It's just what we might be looking at. So we have the neckline already in place. So this is where the neckline is. So price may be running up to this place. So a move above this area here may see price head higher on this pair. So this is the neckline already. You can place that on your chart. So a move above this area and the retest may see price move higher. How do you calculate the, you check the length from this low to the neckline. That will give you something like from here up to this point. That's roughly like 64 pips. So on a breakout, you may see a 64 pip run up to the north. So that aside, the next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPUSD. Looking at the GBPUSD from a daily point of view, there was something I noticed while I was going through my charts this morning. It's on the monthly chart. Let me get rid of all this. If we look at the monthly chart for the GBPUSD, you have what looks like a bearish engulfing. Although we have a bullish play, a bullish move in play, but we have what seems like a bearish engulfing. It engulfed the body of this candle. So what is the importance of that? If you come into play, if you go to this time frame and use your fib, you find out that price reacted from the 50% of that move yesterday. That's where price reacted from, the 50% of that move yesterday. And there's one thing I've noticed with price and fib levels. Let me see. Let me be sure I got this. Let me make sure I got this fib level well. Yes. Okay. Only on that monthly candle. If I go down to the intraday chart, there's one thing I've noticed with price and fib levels. Previous fibs have the tendency to act as resistance zone. And if you notice, price yesterday closed as a very, very big bearish engulfing. Very, very big bearish engulfing. So what do? You go down to your normal time frame chart. Like I think I've already done it. This is the 38.2. You just only on the candle of yesterday, you just draw a fib and wait and see what happens. And if you notice, this low, there's a resistance zone here, and price has already run up into that area, and there's a bit of a reaction. So what do we do with this knowledge now? We go down to our lower time frame chart. We go down to our lower time frame chart, like that resistance zone. This is where it is. I pointed it out. Price needs to clear this resistance zone between 1.3127 and 1.3156, and this area to be very, very bullish. Although we have a rising trend line that is price tested yesterday, but price needs to clear this area. So if price does not clear this area, there is a tendency that price may come down to test this area, because this is like a neckline. Price broke through it, and we may just be seeing a bit of a retest of that area. So we need to watch this area very well today to see what price does around that area. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the GBP, EURGBP. Looking at the EURGBP daily close yesterday. Look at the daily close yesterday, you can see an evening star formation back to back. As you can see, we have one here, we have this formation here, and we have another one. The challenge now with this evening star formation is, okay, yes, still an evening star formation, just that the wick is like a doji. It's not like this one. So what is the game plan for this pair? Drop down to your lower time frame chart. As we can see, what has price done? Price broke above this high. They've comfortably come to do a retest. So now, what is the game plan? The game plan is this, or what I'll call the rules of engagement. For the EURGBP to continue his bullish move, he needs to clear all this area. He needs to clear this trend line. Excuse me. He needs to clear this trend line and this resistance zone. So if you get a situation where he runs up and comes back here, then you may see him fall back. you may see further weakness. But should he break above this resistance zone, retest, and you're expecting, then you might be expecting a move higher. Let me use a horizontal line to note the resistance zone above price. So it is between 0.8597 and 0.8600. So this is the area of importance with price. Hello, can you all hear me clearly? Please, can you all hear me clearly? Hello, can you hear me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, please let me have your yes. Hello? 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 If you can hear me clearly, please let me have your yes. Okay? Okay? Okay. So let's continue. So, this is where we are watching, and if you notice already, the 4-hour already has a pin bar. Because like I always tell people, whenever there's a breakout, the retest, like this is a bullish breakout, the retest will always be a bearish move. So if you're not aware, you might get caught up in the bearish move and say it is going further down. They are coming to test this high, as you can see. And now they have a bullish formation. If we look at this from the 1 hour, as you can see, there is already evidence here. You can see this may possibly close out as a bullish railway track. So which means that price is aiming at challenging this area. So you just need to be aware of that. But should you get a move back below 0.8558, then you might see a bit of weakness. And why do you need to be aware of this? If you're someone that trades the GBP pairs, you need to know what the EURGBP is doing. If you don't know what the EURGBP pair, what the EURGBP is doing, and you're trading GBP pairs, you are doing yourself a big disservice. So, knowing that, the next pair we'll be moving over to is the GBPCHF. So if we look at the GBPCHF from a daily point of view, this one seems to have a bit of a quagmire. I will explain. Yesterday's candle closed as a bearish engulfing, as you can see. Although we still have this bullish morning star formation still active. Let me go down to my lower time frame chart. When I go down to my lower time frame chart, I have a bit of a quagmire here. I have this falling trend line. You see this trend line from this point to this point. Price broke above it, as you can see, and it seems as if price came back to retest it yesterday. I have this rising trend line that price broke below. So you see I have a bit of a quagmire now. So now there's a bit of dilemma on this pair. His resistance zone is between 1.3104 and 1.3129. That's his resistance zone. And this trend line that he broke yesterday. His support area comes in between 1.3072 and 1.3058. So the deal is this: a move below this area will see price come down to this second support structure. But above this, above 31.29, it still has a lot of support structure waiting for it, resistance structure waiting for it. So for this pair, I don't know what to say. I'll just say just trade with caution. It's not very clear to me. The next pair I'll be looking at is the AUDUSD. Looking at the AUDUSD from the daily point of view, this bullish pattern, this bullish tweezer is still playing out. As you can see, this bullish tweezer is still playing out. But this resistance, the top, this resistance high here at 0.7131 is still being respected by price. Price needs to break above here, but slightly above that is a falling trend line, as you can see. So price needs to clear these two areas in order to get to this point. A move above this area will send price higher. As you can see, there are two levels here to take note of. This is a major channel, and this is a secondary one. This is a secondary trend line. So it's just what you need to be aware on this pair. So more like he's in a range. His support is, let me change this to blue. His support is 70.62, while his resistance is 71.31. So this is what you just need to be aware of on this pair. And if you know, if this man is ranging, most often than not, GBPAUD and EURAUD might also be feeling the same impact. Next pair we're looking at is the USDJPY. Looking at the USDJPY from a daily point of view, did I look at the EURAUD-USD? Okay, looking at the I didn't look at the AUDUSD from lower time frame. So this is what we have on the AUDUSD. The resistance zone is between 1.7130 to 0.7148. We have an interim support. We have an interim support between 0.7103 to 0.7098. So it's just what we have here. Below this minor midterm support, we may see price move lower into 0.7068 to 0.7056. So these are the areas of interest on this pair. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the USDJPY. Looking at the USDJPY, price seems to have broken above this falling trend line here. But the storyline here is that above that trend line is a resistance zone. That's the major story now on this pair. So how do we digress? How do we play out on this? Let me see. This is what we do with this pair. As you can see, the 4-hour already has what looks like a harami pattern. As you can see, it is a harami. So which is showing further weakness. You see this weak to the high. So we may see a bit of a weakness on this pair to come down to test this trend line. Test this previously broken trend line. If this trend line holds as support, we may see it move higher towards this larger resistance zone. But should this trend line fail, then price may come down to the first level support structure here, 11126 to 11116. So for now, this pair seems to be slightly bullish, but it might not be for long. If the dollar index starts to weaken, it would impact the USDJPY a bit. So the next one I'll be looking at is the euro yen. Looking at the euro yen, price closed with a bit of an indecision candle yesterday, still looking slightly bullish. Long lower week, but it is at this high at 125.44. So a move above this high will see price move a bit higher. So how do we take care of that? Drop down to our lower time frame, and as you can see, this is what you call a break, retest, and continuation. This is how it looks like. So now this resistance 125.45 is giving price a bit of a challenge. So should price close above here, the next level of resistance comes in at 125.75, while the next one comes in at this high. So why do you need to know where these levels are? If you were long at this point, this will be your first exit, second exit, and your third exit. So that's why you need to know where these levels are. The next we're looking at is the GBPJPY. And looking at the GBPJPY from a daily point of view, you see price rejected from this resistance area, creating a bearish engulfing pattern. So knowing that, we drop down to our 4-hour chart. If we drop down to our 4-hour chart, we can see price is reacting from this area for now, which is a neckline. Then its interim support, as you can see on this pair, there is a trend line here that price broke, and this may be a retest of it for a move higher. But now the situation is that there is this resistance trend line here. You have this resistance zone between 147.02 and 147.32. So if price breaks above here, it may come to this point. But should price fail to close above this zone, then we may see price either drop down, we may see price either drop down to this place. If it finds support, it may move high or break down towards this area. So that is it for the pound here. And the next pair we'll be looking at is the Euro AUD. Looking at the Euro AUD from a daily point of view, price, you see, this is what you call an anchor candle. Its open price is still support. So price kind of like ranging. Price is kind of like ranging. So then how do we play that out? We drop down to our lower time frame. So price for now is in a support box between 0.75761 and 0.5745. So a close above this area might send price first to 1.5790, and then the next level comes in at 1.5809. So for now, just know that the Euro AUD is looking bearish and it seems to be in a support area. So for now, so if you are looking to sell this pair, you need to see a rally. The next pair I'm looking at is the GBPAUD. Looking at the GBPAUD from a daily point of view, the candle closed bearish yesterday. It's a bearish momentum candle, taking out this anchor candle here, taking out this bullish anchor candle here. So how do we play that on our intraday trades? As you can see, price needs to rally up a bit to test this area here. Comment. Let me sort this out. Price needs to rally towards this 1.8440 to confirm this area as resistance and drop lower. So for now, this is your support level. Support level 1, 83.04, support level 2, 82.69, and this lower level here is more like a zone, 1.8269 to 1.8198. So, and if you watch again, we have a falling trend line. As you can see, there is a falling trend line here. So these are some of the things you need to look out for. The next pair we'll be looking at is the USDCAD. And looking at the USDCAD from a daily point of view, yesterday price closed bullish but with a long upper wick. And there seems to be a bit of a range here. As you can see, between these 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, there seems to be a bit of a range there. No proper price action movement. So if we drop down to our lower time frame chart, you can see price first support structure is between 1.3353 to 1.3343. So as long as price stays above this support structure, there's a tendency it may go higher. As you can see, there's already a double bottom in play. So what level will confirm the bullish move? When we have a close above 133.75. A good bullish close above 133.75 means see price get to 1.30, 1.3405 or this falling trend line here. The next pair we're looking at is the GBPCAD. Looking at the GBPCAD seems to have run into a bit of an obstacle here and is reacting from it. If we look at him from the daily closed as a bearish engulfing candle. So what do we do with this activity? We can see here on our intraday chart, price is already reacting from this our resistance area. And that resistance area is between 1.7519 to 1.7550. So a move below, let me note the support zone. This is first support zone on this pair. Move below below 1.7437, that's a move below this zone here, this support zone, we'll see price come back down to this area. So that is it for this morning's trading review. Thank you all for coming. Wish you all a beautiful trading day and a blessed weekend ahead. Thank you all for coming.